All right. Good day, everyone. We're going to be jumping back again into Halo Campaign Evolved, and today is the day we see what 343 Guilty Spark has in store for us. See if there's anything else I want to add before we jump back in. As I was going through and editing the last part, reviewing everything in Assault on the Control Room, I did actually have a few extra thoughts I wanted to possibly put out there, but I think most of them can probably be saved for 2 Betrayals. So I'm going to be revisiting a lot of things there. I'll probably be touching on the ending cutscene as well, because there was actually more I wanted to say about that after going back and watching it again in post. But for now, I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, let's jump into 343 Guilty Spark. The true test of Halo Studios' new approach to the atmosphere of Halo really begins here. All right, without further ado. It skips the cutscene. Let's go ahead and restart that.
The last transmission from the captain's dropship was from this area. That was over 12 hours ago. When you locate Captain Keyes, radio in, and I'll come pick you up.
Okay. I mean, we're off to a better start. There we go. We're definitely off to a better start. And as much as I do like these cutscenes, I kind of miss the little beginning part of actually writing through. You know, there wasn't a cutscene. You just started in the dropship, right? In the back of the dropship. And Foehammer would drop you off. This is definitely far more atmospheric. I want to say still maybe a little bit too bright, but like, I don't know, thinking back to the original mission, you know, it's actually probably not that much brighter than... I wonder if there's a good way of doing like a good side-by-side. Pistol or SMG. I'll stick with the assault rifle for now. As much as I adore the SMG.
Dropship Victor 9, pillar or bottom. Systems. We are under attack by some new kind of hostile prison covenant. Captain Keyes has been captured by hostiles. Dug in at a large structure in a swamp. We can hold out. Please. I will send this message to repeat at intervals. Dropship Victor 933 clear.
Okay. Now I am definitely going to spend a lot of time here just taking in the atmosphere, right? So we can see kind of the path where the dropship crashed and how it's kind of filling in with the water. That is cool. All the water dripping off of it. Did I take damage from something? Why did my shields recharge? Oh, yeah. Huh. It's weird it's not giving a damage indicator for that, but yeah, hitting the fire definitely does damage. Interesting. There's no damage indicator for that. Oh, and you know what else? I was wrong. No, because this mission did have a brief cutscene at the beginning where it's panning through the swamp and you see the Covenant running away. We completely missed that.
Dropship Victor 9. Pillar at bottom. Captain Keyes has been captured by hostiles.
That's new.
In at a large structure in the swamp. Get pulled out.
Okay, get the flashlight going. Much more cluttered in the swamp. I like that. It needs to feel oppressive and dense. I don't know if dense is the word I'm thinking of. Oh, I love the big twisty trees. Oh, just the ambience of the rain. That's good. Excuse me. Also, nice to see these things back, whatever they are. Once again, a very interesting material. That's a very cool effect. The kind of like almost translucent, like something inside of it is shifting around as I'm looking at it. Now, way back when I first played the original game, right? I always wondered if these types of plants had something to do with the flood. They always looked very flood-like. I'm still not 100% convinced that they're not related to the flood. However, this does make it look much more like they are just some kind of alien plant structure, right? Now, another thing that I've always thought was interesting about this level was the amount of just random empty space they have in the beginning. Like, this isn't even the direction you're intended to go, but there's just all this empty space here anyway, just for the sake of being there. I kind of mentioned that on the Silent Cartographer mission, how a lot of these games, right, would have empty space just because, right? Just to make the world feel bigger or to build atmosphere or what have you. And yeah, I'm loving this. See, we've also got kind of these spores, which again makes me kind of question whether it's flood related, but I think I have explored most of the area outside of the intended path now. And everything does just kind of have this damp look to it. Love that. I think I'm having allergies or something today. My eyes been watery all morning. Now up here, we can kind of see, I'm pretty sure that's the fallen tree log bridge we're going to be crossing in a minute. All right, past Victor 933. All right, well, let's get on with it.
Dropship Victor 9.
Ooh, I need to keep an eye out for... Because if anyone wasn't aware, there are multiple instances where you can see flood combat forms running around in the forest, even before you enter the facility, right? I walked over fire again. Oh, now in the original game, we did have a crashed dropship. However, this one's like tangled up in a tree. And they are outside of my motion tracker range, apparently. Jeez. So anyway, what I was going to say was I need to keep an eye out and see if I can spot. Now, I know where they should be based on the old game, right? But I don't know if they would have potentially added new instances. Kind of looks like they have a spotlight here, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to be coming from. I wonder if that was misplaced or if they just were trying to go for a particular look, and that's just how they decided to do it. Because, man, this scene here does look, once again, incredible, right? Oh, excuse me. That contrast between the light and dark is what really kind of, what am I trying to say? A lot of the times, a good contrast between light and dark areas is what gives you that strong atmosphere. Like having a good definition, a good contrast. Oh. I missed. Well, the good news is I'm pretty sure I got the rest of them. Okay. Oh, oh. Oh, I saw that. I saw a yellow marker on the motion tracker. Oh, there's something else over here. It says it's beneath me. I'm seeing a contact on the motion tracker. But I have no idea where they're meant to be. Did an enemy get stuck in the ground, perhaps? I'm thinking an enemy must have gotten stuck in the ground. Now, I did see a yellow contact, a friendly contact, on the motion tracker, which would have been one of the flood forms in this tree line over here, but I think I missed it because I was busy fighting the jackals. Because, yeah, before you encounter the flood, they show up as friendlies on your motion tracker. And typically one runs across kind of this area as well when you're far away. I'm pretty sure I've missed both of them by now. Additionally, no, did they remove the... This is another spot, right, where in the original game there were some more of like the Forerunner pipes. I guess Halo Studios just really doesn't like the Forerunner pipes because there was a set of pipes kind of running out of the corner of the wall here. And I believe there's an active camo hidden behind it, if memory serves. So I'm wondering if they've removed it entirely or simply moved it somewhere else. Man, does this look good, though. Now, I believe it was technically possible to run up this side of the hill here in the original, I think. And additionally, I believe if you did fall down... I mean, you could run all the way around, but I think there is a way to get back up on the previous side. Here, it looks like they've once again kind of streamlined that, right? They've made it a more obvious path, a more obviously intentional path for getting around. I should be able to just climb over some of this. Ooh, I almost missed you. Hey. Ah, of course, it's the fog skull. Why would it not be? Ooh, look at those light shafts. Man, you can make atmosphere look so good just by having some well-placed light shafts. Now, it does kind of beg the question to me of what exactly is creating that light. I'm assuming it's probably supposed to be the moon. But I mean, that is incredibly bright for moonlight, especially if it's shining through fog and cloud cover. But whatever the case. Oh, you guys are just full aggro immediately. I'll get behind. Dang. I don't like that they pre-fired needlers and that they're able to track me anyway. Have another grenade because you guys are annoying me. The good thing about the needlers leading you so hard is that you can actually take advantage of that and just bait them into your cover. Okay. Is there anything new back here? Because I don't remember there being a Covenant comms box up here before. Or, if, you know, maybe there was. I just don't think it was set up on a ridge, like, as obviously like this. But whatever the case. So yeah, I've missed all the flood sightings so far, which is unfortunate. But I mean, given the amount of extra foliage they have here, I feel like they're going to be just harder to see in the first place anyway. But you know, on subsequent playthroughs, it is going to be interesting to check it out, see if I can spot them. I feel like there may have been... I feel like there may have used to have been a way to get on top of this. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Apparently it is. Is there a point to me being up here, though? Doesn't seem to be. Alright. That is a lot of blood. And dirt. I like that they're really leaning into the blood again. That was something that I and, you know, many other people critiqued about the older remake was they seemed to be afraid of having blood, which, you know, for a shooter game, much less Halo, seemed like an odd choice. Trying too hard to get that T rating. Now I noticed the elevator didn't have its iconic sound effect, which is a little disappointing because, well, maybe it's just because at this point I have PTSD from that sound effect, but it's little ding. Obviously it wasn't a ding, but you know what I mean. I can't actually make the sound effect, but anywho. Oh, hey, it's more of the hard light glass stuff. Cool. Yeah, that sound effect's not bad. Not what I'm used to, but not awful. Whoa, what is going on there? That is some... The whole thing is vibrating. Interesting. Ooh. Oh, that is a long way down. Okay, yeah, immediately I'm loving how much darker this is. Anything back here? No, I don't know what you're talking about. No, you don't. And the needler leads you so hard. All right, let's take a minute. Never mind. Oh my god, there are so many of you still down there. I guess that'll do it. Now, as I was saying, let's take a minute to try and appreciate the atmosphere here. Now, it is still, you know, fairly well lit. However, it's lit in such a way... Because, okay, you have... Remember what I was saying before about contrast, right? You have a very bright light on that end, right? Rather than having it being evenly lit from above, you have a very strong light at one end of the room, nothing at the other end. So you get these really strong shadows, this really strong contrast between the light and the dark. It's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Can see a marine body over there. Oh, is there just a ramp? Oh, there's just a ramp. We never had ramps before. I wonder if that means they're going to remove some of the parts where you had to... Oh, you know what? They'd have to. Because there were some parts in the mission where you had to jump up some stacked crates, like the Covenant had stacked some crates up, and you were required to climb the stacked crates. Well, now that these are all physics objects, you can potentially knock them over. So, like here, I should be able to climb this. I wonder. Ah, okay. So you have the physics object here, right? So these things are actual physical objects in space, right? These things, they're the same model, mesh, but these are not physics objects. They have no physics attached to them. So they still function as the climbing thing I was talking about earlier. Where I was going with that, right, was if everything was just physics-based objects and you could potentially, you know, throw a grenade, knock over a stack of crates, you now can no longer access the upper area. But it looks like not only did they add the ramps, but they also just compensated by adding non-physics objects of the same object, the same model, right? Huh. That doesn't look good. Got some bloody footprints. That's concerning. Pretty sure we come back to this door exactly later. Man. Once again, atmosphere significantly improved. Oh, this is different. Oh, so have they removed the square hallways? I wonder. We're going to be coming back to that in a minute. They're trying to flank. Don't let them. Huh. Oh, there they are. So is that just like a random particle effect? It disappears if I get too close. I'm trying to listen. I'm hearing what sounds. I can't tell if it's like dripping, because I'm pretty sure this is the room where there would have originally been something dripping from the ceiling, which it looks like we have this, what I think is implied to be like some kind of flood material, like some flood sporing, right? Almost like a mold growth. And this is definitely selling me on that. This looks flood related, right? Like the beginning of the like we see in later games in Halo 2 and 3, how the flood kind of like grows onto surfaces as well. This looks like the beginning of that. However, I'm not seeing like the dripping from above like we had before, so I'm not sure if I'm still hearing it or if I'm hearing footsteps. Because it almost kind of sounds like footsteps. Huh. Now this, it's clearly still, you know, that's actually save the pistol ammo. Yeah, it's the same kind of like hard light material. But this almost looks like on the other side of it. I don't know if that's just an effect of the light or like some kind of dirt material that they put on there. But to me, it almost looks like on the opposite side of this window is more of this kind of like flood growth stuff. And I don't know if I'm just reading too much into it or what. Also, can you actually see through that? Or is that just the reflection of what's behind me? Because it doesn't look like the reflection of what's behind me. So I wonder if they actually put some kind of space on the other side of this window just so you'd have something to look through and see. Because that's pretty cool what they did. And once again, ramps. I'm pretty sure ordinarily this top section would have been inaccessible. That could also just be what's the term? Is cube map the right terminology? Sometimes like with reflections, right? Like it's hard to do real-time reflection, so they'll just like have an image that gets reflected on a surface. I'm wondering if that's potentially what that is, or if there is actually something behind it. Because, yeah, that almost just looks more like... Yeah, I honestly can't tell. I'd have to have someone with more... I don't know, a better eye and probably more knowledge than I have to let me know on that one. Lots of blood again. Yeah, it looks like we've just completely removed the square hallways where you'd go in and it would branch off right and left. And it'd just go around in a square with these kind of doors on either side. But a lot of them had like a glass ceiling, so you could see the floor above you as well, and vice versa, you could see underneath you. But we've still got this where it looks like, yeah, these guys tried to make a last stand. Ooh, we're starting to see more of the spores. Just little tiny particle effects in the air that I'm pretty sure weren't there before. Or if they were, I simply didn't notice. But that is a really cool touch. You know what? I actually want to go check. Sorry, I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time here. Yeah, this room. Yeah, there's a few spores kind of over here. Again, kind of near the flood stuff. Okay, so no, there's still particles in the air. Yeah, I guess I just didn't really notice it before. I need to pick up a grenade anyway. Yeah, wow, I did not notice that before, but now that I see it, I can't unsee it. You have these little floating particles everywhere. Now, could that just be atmosphere? Sure. Could it also potentially be a little bit of foreshadowing of the flood? I choose to believe the latter, because that makes it cooler. And those Forerunner panels are very loud. You know what? Maybe it's just that the spores are more noticeable because this room's a bit darker. Whoa. Now that is some ominous lighting. You have it lit up in this bright red, fuck off warning red. See, you don't need to know the language to know that that's saying, caution, bad, go away. Ooh, yeah, in one of the few instances where we see just raw needler ammo. I'm sure we'll be making use of that later. Oh, hey, and now we should have...
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things! I'll blow your brains out! Get away from me! Ah! Ah! Don't touch me, you freaks! I won't be like you, I'll die first!
Well, what are you aiming
They
at
won't
exactly?
get me. Find your own hiding place! The monsters are everywhere! Play dead! That's what I did! Play dead! They took the live ones! Oh god, I can still hear them! Monsters! Ah! 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 Just leave me alone! Sarge, Mendoza, Vicente. Oh God, the things took them away, away, away. They went away. They're gone. Get it? Gone. Oh God, oh God, I don't want to be like you, please. Please no, please no.
Okay, I like that they had the little extra animation of him looking around the corner. The facial animations are surprisingly more in depth than I thought they would be. Kind of weird that he's just randomly shooting at the wall instead of me. Now we're getting much more of that flood green color. A bit of fog. Ooh. Oh yeah, now this looks like some kind of containment cell, right? Oh, and there's the dripping. Yeah, you can tell there's some kind of just wacky experimentation going on here. Now, is it my imagination or is the particle count like increased here? I imagine it's just my, well, imagination, right? But just the extra layer of fog is kind of making it feel more dense. Again, interesting that they just have these ramps in here now. Oh, now this one I can clearly see there's something on the other side here. Okay. So maybe there was stuff through those other windows as well, and it was just darker. Yeah, very nice. Again, making the facility feel larger than it actually is. Okay, very nice. I'm loving this. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed they got rid of the square hallways. Can you just go around? You can. Makes the light bridge here feel kind of redundant. Now, granted, I think you could do that in the original as well. Oh, that looks terrifying. I love it. So yeah, we've seen lots of blood, lots of Covenant bodies, a few human bodies here and there. The environmental storytelling here and just the build-up is so good. This as well, where the door has been like smashed, just completely torn open. Uh-oh. No one tell Hidden Xperia. All right. I can't wait to see how they've done this cutscene. That door's looking a little whack. I wonder why. Huh. Oh no. The bodies are still there. That's curious. And just like that, we're in a found footage horror movie.
Why do we always have to listen to this old stuff, Sarge?
Watch your mouth, son. This stuff is your history. It should remind you, grunts, what we're fighting to protect.
Hey, if the Covenant want to wipe out this particular part of my history, that's fine by me. Yeah, better it than us.
You ask real nice next time you see them, Vicente. I'm sure they'll be happy to oblige.
LZ looks clear. I'm bringing us down.
Go, go, go!
Take a look, Jenkins. Mendoza, move it up. Okay, let's move.
Wait here for the captain and his squad. Then get your ass inside.
Sir!
Right, let's get this door open.
I'll try, sir. But it looks like these Covenant worked pretty hard to lock it down.
Just do it, Moraine.
Yes, sir.
We skipped a scene.
You better have a look at this, Sarge.
What you got?
Oh,
Covenant. Lots of them. Except they're all dead.
Show me.
Which is
Okay.
weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
What's that? Plasma scoring?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was an accident, you know, friendly fire or something?
What do we have, Sergeant? Looks like a Covenant patrol. Badass elite units. All KIA.
Real pretty. Friend of yours?
Nah, we just met. I got a bad feeling about this.
Boy, you always got a bad feeling about something. What the?
Captain, Sarge, can you hear me?
What's going on, soldier?
We've got contact! Lots of them! But they're not coming! We're just staring through them! What the fuck?
Corporal, do you copy? Over. Mendoza, get your ass back up to second squad's position and find out what the hell is going on.
But
I don't have time for your lip, soldier. I gave you an order.
But Sarge, listen.
What is that? Where's that coming from, Mendoza?
Everywhere. I don't... Above you! There! Get out!
Let him have it!
Get out! Get it out!
Hold still! Hold still! God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapon! Sergeant, we're surrounded.
Sweet mother. There are too many, Sarge!
Don't even think about it, Marine!
Oh, this is local!
Get back here, Marine! That's an order! Jenkins! Behind you!
Think for once I'm going to take back what I said about pre-rendered cutscenes, because that was great. Oh. Ooh, you guys do a lot more damage. You're also bigger than I remember. Whoop, don't get stuck. They seem to... Yeah, they're not quite as prone to chain reacting each other as they originally were. And you know what? That's one thing I actually don't entirely mind. Oh no. Oh no, they have shields. Oh no. Huh. Okay, some of them have shields. Wow, they go down really quick. Huh. Okay, yeah, the shields make them scary. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Gonna have to collect my thoughts here. Ooh. Oh, their melee's not too crazy. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I actually have something to say about that. Ooh. Jeez. Oh, we do. Oh, hell yes. Can they just keep doing it? Or is there a limit to how many times they can reanimate a body? At the very least, it looks like they're done with that one, but okay. I wonder if there's, like, rules to it. Okay, wow. Much stronger first impression than I expected. Oh, yeah, and I was totally right. Yeah, that is more the flood biomass. It is unfortunate that we have the random glowing orange bits. That is something I completely agree with Hidden Experience. but if it's not excessive, I can get over it. I mean, this looks... pretty good, honestly. Oh, yeah, this place is infested. Oh, and even releasing some more spores. Oh. Some stringy bits. Lovely. Oh, geez. So, wow, I've got a few things to say here. Where do I begin? I was worried about the flood not being scary enough. And, well, I don't know. Jury's still out a little bit. I feel like what they've done is they've compensated by just having a lot more of them, right? Like, that was way more combat forms than you would typically fight at this part, right? Now, granted, they're slower, which because we're using the Halo 3 flood, they're a little less aggressive, which I think in a way does make them a bit less scary. Because one of the scariest things, right, was having the, especially like the elite combat forms just leaping at you from across the room. But with that, the way they just kind of slowly stalk towards you, that had its own kind of terror to it. So you know what, that's okay. As long as there's a good mix, you know, we'll just have to see kind of more about how it plays. Now, one of the human combat forms here had a weapon, which is odd because... originally, you play through, you know, the first, like, upper layer here, right? And the Flood they're just attacking you with melee, right? And you're just like, oh, these guys are just normal zombies, whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, zombies. But then you go down a level, and now all of a sudden they have weapons. And you're like, wait a minute, the zombies can use weapons? What? But we just kind of skipped over that entire, I guess, part of the arc. Wow, okay, everything just lit up on the motion tracker all at once. Yeah, they feel much less aggressive. But like I said, maybe they're going to compensate for that by having just a lot more of them. Where did you come from? So I'm wondering here. So I think what's happening, right? And there was speculation. I think we speculated, my friends and I speculated about this being a mechanic in Halo 1. I don't think it was actually a mechanic until Halo 3. But if you kill the infection form kind of in the center mass, the thing that's piloting the body, then the body just dies, right? It looks like what's happening is if you kill the infection form, but the body is still mostly intact, other infection forms can come along and repossess it. Which is super cool. There is some shit going on out here. See, guys, we could all just get along and help each other out, but y'all decide to be... This door was not open before. Can I go back the way I came? Because there is one thing I want to... We came through here. That way seems to no longer be accessible. I'm just going to move on. Yeah, this door was not open before. Let's see. Now, are they going to... Yep. They attempt to repossess the body if it's not destroyed. Huh, is this the way I came? Am I misremembering how I got in here in the first place? Their sounds aren't quite the same either. What are... Huh, it seems even the, it looked like the infection form part of the body actually had its own, shield model. Jeez. Well, they are still plenty tanky, at least given the shields. I was worried about them going down too quickly, which, granted, when they don't have the shields, it does feel like they go down just a smidge too quick. But I'm pretty sure they're going to compensate for that by just having there be way, way, way more of them. Okay, yeah, I must have just been misremembering how I got into that other room, because this is absolutely the way we came in the first place. So now that door was not open previously. How effective is melee? Oh, very effective. That is a big departure. Again, because we're using more of the Halo 3 style Flood, that is a big, big departure from Halo 1. In Halo 1, melee did absolutely nothing to Flood. I'm pretty sure they were effectively immune to it. Now, my waypoint is directing me back this way, and I believe that's because... Yes, so this is the elevator we initially came down, right? That's a long ways down. But if we hit the button... Perfect. That's beautiful. Oh, the Flood seemed to have overwhelmed the Covenant. That's unfortunate. Oh, is it? I don't know. So far, the Flood actually seemed marginally easier to deal with. Especially because punching now works. And punching seems to actually destroy the body, too. Less likelihood of reanimation. Okay. So melee is going to be extremely effective against the Flood now. Let's see what's over this way first, because unless they've hidden something new, this should be more or less empty. Aha! Tangent 2, okay. I wonder if that's a reference to Penitent Tangent, Monitor of Installation 05? Here we go. How do you feel? That is a very, very big spread. I wonder, can I see... Ooh, it actually has some range. It's not a worthless video game shotgun where the bullets just disappear after a meter. Okay. If they've done the shotgun justice, I'm going to be very happy. Interesting. This room is just straight up identical to the old one. Even the weird little electrical whatever this thing is. Whoa. Whatever this is, it makes my vision go all wonky when I get too close to it. I don't know what that effect is or why it's doing that, but that's cool. Some weird magical Forerunner nonsense. Just infection forms. Ooh, the melee lunge actually makes this a little bit sketchier. Also, do I take damage from melee in them? I think I do, just slightly. That's interesting. Okay, so the shotgun just obliterates Flood bodies. That is excellent news. That is going to make it an extremely effective anti-Flood weapon. All right, now, this is where we should see... There's the music. Oh, there it is. Yep, just the blood elevator. Now, this is a room where you would ordinarily... This is the room where you would have ordinarily been initially introduced to weapon flood. Combat forms wielding weapons. That guy have a shotgun. I don't like that. That sounded like a shotgun. Flood with shotguns? No, thank you. That guy totally had a shotgun. That could have just outright killed me, I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, so it looks like we're going the route of individual combat forms are less threatening than in the old game. There is simply way more of them. We kept the stack of crates with the overshield on top intact. Love to see that. Overshield is definitely going to come in clutch. It's at some point here, I'm sure. Oh, no. Good plan. That's unfortunate. Oh, this escalated quickly. Right, y'all have ramps now. I wonder if another part of the reason they did that... I wonder if this iteration of the Flood... Like this gameplay iteration, right? I wonder if they have a harder time like making these jumps up to these higher surfaces. So they needed the ramp so that the Flood could actually get to you. Am I still on Legendary? I am, dang. A little weird how their bodies just completely explode. I don't know, I guess it'd be nice if there were like, I don't know, more chunks remaining. It's a little weird that they just evaporate. Okay, that guy was much more resistant to melee than the previous ones. Who is talking? What the hell is that noise? Hey, thanks. I hate it. Grab the SMG back. Because the ammo capacity is going to be very good for, well, this. Exactly this. Combat, or not combat, the infection forms. Now, it was possible, in theory, if you were very, very good at timing it and very, very lucky, to jump across this. Nope. Yeah, the timing is slightly randomized, and it looks like they've kept that intact as well, so that's where the luck comes in. Okay. Even this portion of the level, I gotta say, also feels less redundant. Not that I ever really had a problem with it before, but like it... I'm actually having an easier time understanding like which room I'm in relative to others. That light source looks incredibly strange. I don't like that. I wonder if those are intended to just be like... It's not so much that the flood mass is glowing orange, it's that when a light is shown through it, it appears orange. Which does also make sense. Kind of like shining a flashlight through your hand. It kind of does the same thing. Makes sense to me. Hold on to that for me. I have no idea what room this is. It looks like another one of like the, I'm gonna call them test chambers. Another one of the more like square-shaped, kind of like holding cell test chamber things, perhaps. That ain't good. That didn't go where I wanted it to. Terrible throw. That was marginally better. Oh man. The needles. They're making it difficult for me to push into this next room. Have we done it? Okay, there's one more above. This is very cool. Ooh, that was scary. That 100% could have killed me. Because that guy had a shotgun, and that's scary. Now, this is a room ordinarily there would have been... Yeah, this is one thing that's very, very curious to me, right? Because like I said, ordinarily none of these rooms had ramps. They simply had, you know, a walkway that went all the way around the edge. So in one of these rooms, there was like, I think it was supposed to be like one of these pillars had collapsed. So the walkway above it had a gap, but then you could jump up onto the collapsed pillar and then climb up from there. It looks like we've just removed that entirely, and we're just doing ramps to make it, I guess, more consistent, more visually consistent. But I don't know, whatever. It's another really minor detail. And maybe it was one of those things where like people had trouble figuring out that they were supposed to jump up. I have seen a few playthroughs where, yeah, it took people a minute to figure out exactly where they were supposed to jump for it. And not entirely what I intended to do, but I do need to try making a flood buddy at some point just to see. Okay, yeah, I think their explanation for the orange glow is it's just light shining through flood biomass. I'm okay with this explanation. But yeah, I want to get a better look at... Yeah, that's just completely grown over now, huh? I'm sorry, is that a tree? Like, that's just overgrowth. That's a tree. That's not flood stuff. That's just a tree in there. Interesting. Why? You got me. Oh. I mean, you were good. You could have just come with me. Oh, whatever. He's fine, probably. Oh, good. Another one of these rooms. And the SMG is extremely effective against the unshielded combat forms. Significantly less so against the shielded ones. Thank goodness the Flood seem to have worse aim than elites. I say that, I'm going to die immediately after saying it though, aren't I? Ooh. Need to move, need to move, need to move. Okay, there's one more combat form around here, and I don't want him ambushing me later. Yeah, geez, the SMG just absolutely shreds anything that doesn't have shields. Yeah. Oh. Okay then. Okay, so no, you do not take damage from melee in the infection forms. They were just hitting me at the same time I was hitting them. Jeez. Oh my god. Not risking it. Huh, I should have been paying more attention to my ammo. Hey, let me borrow that. Sorry, was someone else shooting me from the side? You sure were. Okay, good. You can't just melee the bodies as well to destroy them. Now, see, I remember in the old game, in the original game, the plasma rifle is actually extremely effective against combat forms. In this variant, though, it feels like the plasma rifle is significantly less effective against health, or flesh, or whatever you want to call it. Because that's the whole way Halo works, right? For anyone who's not aware for whatever reason. Bullets do more damage to flesh, or in other words, anything that doesn't have shields. Plasma weapons do more damage to shields. However, it feels like what they've done is they've maybe... I feel like they're using a little bit of the older game logic where, like, plasma is significantly weaker against health. Because it kind of feels like, I don't know, the plasma rifle just feels like it does less damage than I expect it to a lot of the time. Also, it's a burst fire, I just noticed. I can't fire just one shot. It always fires a burst. Why is that? It's kind of odd. Yeah, just straight give me the Halo 1 plasma rifle. Have it do more damage per shot. Maybe like slightly lower its rate of fire. Make it fire one shot at a time and have the bolts move faster. Just give them a higher velocity. Assault rifles. I mean, for now, I guess I'll keep it for trying to shred shields, for what good it'll do me. Especially now that the, seems like the Elite Major Flood forms, they seem to be the only shielded ones, at least the only ones I've encountered so far, and it makes them significantly tankier. And just like that, I'm already out of ammo, dang. Okay, you know what, I guess I will take an assault rifle. Okay. Yeah, so center mass is definitely the play on the combat forms because that's where the infection form inhabits the body. Oh yeah, see, now we're seeing more of these, what I called containment areas before, and this one's just been completely infested. Where are you? Dang. Get the shield, kill the infection form, perfect. Yeah, if you just aim dead center and kill the infection form, that seems to be the best way of going about it. Takes him down real quick. Why did that not kill you? Ah. Jeez. Yeah, they go down real quick, dang. As long as you're able to hit center mass. Now this is going to be sketchy. Unless I'm able to just push straight through. Ooh. Did I do it? Huh. I feel like there's normally actually more enemies for that. Ordinarily, this is one of those parts where they just kind of keep coming. And it's actually kind of difficult to push through. Although, that's actually something I am wondering about, is there are a lot of instances in some of the later missions, particularly the library, keys, where there's parts where the flood will just continuously spawn until you reach like a certain trigger or certain threshold. I don't remember if it's actually truly infinite or if they just have like an absurd number of waves that they will spawn unless you pass the I want to say checkpoint, but that's not the word I'm looking for, because it's not like a checkpoint, not, you know, like the checkpoint done checkpoint, but like you hit a trigger and they just stop spawning, right? Because like you're past the area where the combat encounter is supposed to be. And like if you're not able to get to that point, they just keep spawning for a very, very long time. So trying to accomplish those particular encounters via battle of attrition is, I would say, not recommended. Jeez. Okay, so that is another thing. I was, whoa. I seem to have found the edge of one, what I'm going to assume is a post-processing volume, and another. I found the edge of the green post-processing volume and the beginning of the blue post-processing volume. Okay, that's kind of funny. Yeah, there's probably literally just like a cube somewhere, and I'm just right on the edge of it here. Go in Unreal, grab the object, just expand it slightly further, and you're probably good. But, yeah, once again, if that is the case, funny that no one caught it. But anyway, to pick up where I left off with my thought, another thing I was a little worried about was the flood feeling maybe a little too squishy. Because one of the cool things, right? Like, I know generally speaking, like, bullet sponge enemies are bad. But there are instances where having an enemy that can take a lot of damage can be used for, like, intimidation factor. And the old flood definitely had that. I was concerned that the new flood possibly wouldn't, but I'm not so much getting that vibe.
These things, they ambushed us. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah?
There's a large tower a few hundred meters from your current position. Find a way above the fog and foliage canopy and I can move in and pick you up.
Alright, Marines. Good luck and may the odds be ever in your favor. Oh, hi, Guilty Spark. You're just here. Okay. We even had Foehammer. I'm assuming that was Foehammer. Yeah. Flying around.
You piece of crap!
I got you, Marine. Oop.
Clear.
What is lighting this particular spot? That kind of looks like someone put a point light here and they just kind of forgot to remove it. Because yeah, I have no idea what this light is coming from. Alright, Marines. Wow, does this look cool? Oh, that's neat. You can see them. Wow, okay. That spot over there maybe is just a little too open. I don't know, I'd expect there to be more trees or something there.
Still with you.
Yeah, and Guilty... Why is Guilty Spark just here? Okay.
crap!
All clear.
Engaging hostile. I need some backup!
Decided to make an early appearance. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage.
Alright, let's wipe them out!
It's a good thing their melee isn't too terribly crazy. There seems to be multiple conflicting light sources. Whoa. Maybe that's where all the light is coming from, because dang, that is bright. And hey, the Marines are doing a much better job of surviving than normal. I'm assuming that's a Sentinel with shields, but man, those shields look a little wonky from this range. Oh my god. That's a lot of you. Definitely gonna need some help from the Sentinels. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. This does give you a nice little feeling of a little bit of a safe zone with all the light. Ooh. Okay. Sentinel's beams look pretty good. They fire their beams for a much shorter interval. Yeah. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Not good, not good, not good. I'm gonna die to the needles. Damn. We're at the structure, Marine. What are you talking about? Yeah, those Sentinels were not particularly helpful. Also, another instance of a place where there's just, like, very little cover for some reason. I also, once again, forgot that I had an overshield. I am so bad at remembering that I'm carrying things. Hey, stop stealing my shields with your plasma pistols. Oh my god, there's still more of them. That's spooky. Is the mission almost over? Guilty Spark, please? There's so many more of them on my motion tracker. Please tell me it's just infection forms. Hello? What are we doing here? Hey, Spark, all your Sentinels are dead, and I'm scared. How long am I supposed to hold out here? I don't appreciate your needling. Working on it, Marine. Jeez, the Needler is so dang.
Is it the best? Don't stop shooting! I'm not gonna stop like that.
I might. Oh my god.
Stop the movement! No, crikey, there's more of them. Fall back to the structure.
I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing here, because ordinarily you just like hold out for a minute or two and then you're done. But for some reason, the holdout part here seems to just not be ending.
Tossing a knee!
So I'm not sure if there's something else that they want me to do,
There's more
or if it just lasts way longer now. Here, Marine, take this. What is going on there?
I'm not gonna die like that. Covering fire! Like the movement! No, crikey, there's more of them. Fall back to the structure. We're done for.
Am I supposed to be doing something here? Why is this part not ending?
Ah! Stay low, keep going. Now make sure it's dead.
Yeah, just eliminate alien threat until evac arrives. Okay, but like, how long is that? Like, how many waves? What am I supposed to be doing? That guy had a sentinel beam. I don't like that. Can I have it? Almost. Nope, not quite. Not what I'm looking for. Where'd it go? Oh my god. And of course there's a Needler guy behind me. Okay, yeah, this part feels kind of weird.
This was mine.
Like it's going on way longer than it needs to.
Piece of crap.
You're telling me.
They're tough sons of bitches. Kill it! Kill it! Covering fire!
I might. Jeez, and my shields are just instantly gone the second they come back.
Don't stop shooting!
Oh my god. Okay, so again, another instance of an encounter where they just need to add more cover. Like, there's no cover here at all. And I'm trying to keep moving, but man, when half of them have needlers, it literally just doesn't matter. Because that's kind of how needlers work, you know? Reload after every shot. Hey, Marine, hold that for me. Yeah, you do. What the hell was that? I wonder if that's going to have shown up in the recording. Because that was weird. Yeah, agreed. Okay, let the shields recover if I can. I wonder if I can just hide around this corner. That might actually be the play here. If I can force them into a choke point of some kind, that's probably my best bet. Force the Flood into a disadvantageous position. Limit their range. Why did that guy look weird? I heard that. What was that? 100. Okay. Well, that's the last of my SMG ammo. Okay. Oh, now you're coming from over here. I don't like that. Ah, here we go, finally. Guys got shields. Alright, let's go for you, 22 meter. Okay, see how much easier that was when all I had to do was find a wall. All they need to do is add just like a couple more pieces of cover to that last encounter. Because yeah, trying to do that as intended is a little goofy.
I am 343 Guilty Spar. Someone has released the flood. My function is to prevent you from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
Okay, bye.
Chief, I've lost your signal. Where'd you go? Chief! Chief!
That'll do it. I guess technically the mission hasn't fully completed yet. I'll let it do its thing. This stuff is your history is the name of the achievement. I'm going to pause it there again because I don't want to... The library. Oh, is it going to show us the exterior of the library? That is interesting. Well, guys... I am so much more happy with that iteration of that mission. especially compared to, I'm sorry to keep doing this over and over again, but just again, compared to the anniversary edition, right? Significantly better as a remaster. The atmosphere was significantly more faithful to the original, despite still being brighter in a lot of places. I still think there's a few instances where like maybe some of the light sources could have been toned down a bit. I'm willing to give it a little bit more of a pass because overall the atmosphere was still there. And you just had like those really like cinematic shots where, like you had light shafts coming through the trees or whatever. Those were great. I would maybe just make it a little bit less bright. But I mean, overall, market improvement. The underground areas, just letting the tension build up as you're going through the facility. Yeah, they didn't like do anything unnecessary. They didn't do anything crazy. It was pretty faithful to the original encounters. The cinematic to introduce the flood was fantastic. I said it at the time, but I'll reiterate it again here. I'm typically not a fan of pre-rendered cutscenes, but that one I really, really liked. Because for the way they want to introduce the flood, it would probably be difficult. It would be difficult to, I don't know if choreograph is the right word, but like just the way they had all the infection forms coming in and they started swarming, the soldiers and everything, and Jenkins behind you, and then it jumps on his face like a freaking horror movie thing. Fantastic. You can't really do that in like gameplay and engine. Well, I mean, you could, but I don't know. It probably wouldn't look as good as the way they had it there. I don't know. That's one instance where I think the pre-rendered cutscene did elevate it. That was cool. I feel like there's something else I was going to say. Oh, right. I mentioned this, but I want to elaborate more on it a little bit as well. So as you're going through the rooms feel more distinct from one another, right? This was another place. I don't think the 343 Guilty Spark is criticized as much as missions like Assault on the Control Room or Two Betrayals, but it does have a lot of repeat rooms. They're typically like the big square rooms, what I call the like containment cells or, lab rooms or whatever, right? Big square rooms with the upper walkway and usually some kind of like cell or something in the middle of the room. And I can see how those would get a little repetitive and maybe turn people around. But this one, I felt like, despite the fact that a lot of them were actually more similar in structure, right? Because they all had like the ramps. And I pointed out, typically there would be the one where there'd be like a collapsed pillar that you had to like jump on top of instead. Here they just all had the ramps, but a lot of them had like a different atmosphere. Like the first one we went in was more or less like ordinary, like nothing too crazy going on. The second one had the really like bright containment cell right in the middle. There was another one later that was like much more foggy with like more of the flood spores. And then even like at each room you went through, they got progressively more and more of like the flood biomass contaminating them. That was cool. Just, help set them apart a little bit from each other. Use of color. Much more use of color, especially like the big glowing red window and the red warning signs on the flood containment portion. Just gave you this very ominous feel where like you just know going in like, oh, there's something bad in there. Yeah, use of color was fantastic. Rooms felt distinct. Shotgun still feels a little bit iffy, honestly. Like I feel like the pellet spread is a little bit too randomized, where it's like sometimes it's killing things immediately and sometimes like half of it is just missing. So I would maybe tighten the spread of the shotgun a little bit and maybe give it some kind of pattern with a small amount of randomization to give it just make it feel more consistent. And then finally, like my biggest point of critique is just that final holdout section. It just needs more cover. It just needs like a wall or maybe some rocks or something you can hide behind and recover your shields, because that part goes on for a very, very long time. And you simply don't have time for your shields to recharge, especially with how many of those enemies have needlers that are, very difficult to avoid because, tracking. And I mean, it's even harder to avoid them or dodge them when they're firing at you from off screen, right? And with as quickly as you die, again, I just think you need a little more cover. Just an extra wall, a couple rocks, something there just to break up that big, giant, open, empty space. Because I feel like they want you to have this like epic holdout moment. The problem with that, and granted, this is a problem in a lot of games, right? Is like the most effective way to play it is not the intended way to play it. Because notice how much of an easier time I had, right? When I just ran around the corner and I used the wall as a choke point, right? That's all you need. You just need some kind of structure to break up the environment and give the player some kind of choke point to take advantage of. Otherwise, you're just a sitting duck sitting in the middle of an open field with no cover, waiting to die from an overwhelming enemy force. So yeah, if they want it to have as many enemies as they had and go on as long as it did, just add some cover or something to that part. That's all I would really change. And again, I don't think it would take much. Literally just throw a handful of rocks in there, or maybe another like Forerunner wall, just something to break up the space a little bit more. But anyway, I've been beating that dead horse for a few minutes here. That was fantastic. I am right back to thoroughly enjoying it. The Flood are a lot more fun to fight than I expected them to be. Because, honestly, I found the Flood in Halo 3 to be a little bit disappointing. Like, I felt like they were too passive. Like, they would just kind of walk at you. I'm getting a little bit of that here, just a little bit, because it is still like Halo 3 Flood, or at least very much based on them. But I can't quite put my finger on what's different. It's kind of like I said, I think in episode 2 on Halo, right? Where it's like, even though I've seen these enemies before, right? Like we're fighting Halo Reach Covenant, Halo Reach Elites. Something about them just feels like it's been tweaked slightly to just feel slightly more right. Oh, and then there's what I said earlier as well, where they're compensating with... So individual Flood combat forms are significantly weaker, I would say, than the original game, but you're fighting way more of them. Which, they're supposed to be a swarm enemy, so that makes sense. So yeah, it's really grown on me. I'm enjoying the Flood more than I expected to, is just the bottom line there. And there's depth to them as well, right? Because you can still shoot off their arms, but also, as I noted multiple times, you can just kill the infection form, piloting the body and kill it that way, but then other infection forms can come along and reanimate it. That is so cool. Gives more context, because in the original game, right, the combat forms did have like a chance to reanimate, but it wasn't based on it was just chance based, if I remember right, or as far as I remember at least. If there was an actual mechanic behind it, I'm not aware of what it was. It seemed to just be partially random or chance based, because it definitely wasn't like an infection form would come along and reanimate it. Right now you can actually see that happening, and that is so cool. Shoot, yeah, I feel like if I go on longer, I'm just going to keep repeating myself. Not too terribly long, but well, and also, granted, I took a long time just taking in the atmosphere and exploring, right? So I made that mission much longer than it actually needed to be, but I enjoyed every minute of it. That was great, guys. Well, not every minute. They got a little bit frustrating at the end just because I had a little more cover, guys, that's all. But no. Now we're on to the library. This one's going to be interesting. I have some comments there, but I'm going to save it for the next part. For now, I'm going to end it there. Thanks again for watching, guys. Join me next time for the library. I'll see you there. Take it easy.